All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Somebody just tweeted out, so everybody can join in here. 1 second. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. So good. Make sure this is coming through okay here. 1 sec. I'm still doing a volume check on my end here. Doesn't seem to be updating. 1 sec. There we go. Looks good. Good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. And so, what a day today. Kind of a choppy day in the overall market, but there were some good movers out there, so that was good. Yeah, so anyway, so today we're going to be talking about day trading option flow. We're going to be continuing our conversation on that. And today we're going to be talking about dated flow. So this is the flow that, that we see that comes in, but it's a little bit farther dated out. It makes it a little bit tough to necessarily day trade on it, right? But we'll talk about that in a moment here. But before we do, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the market here today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we might have in store going into the night and into tomorrow, and then we'll take a look at the topic and then questions and chart requests. And let's get started. So let's say with the SPX here. So SPX today, right? So fresh month. Right, we had a nice bullish month last month in July, so we pushed our way back up here into this this gap. Right, this is the weekly gap here, which we could see the Corona crash gap. So we had an inside day on Friday. Right, we gapped above it today, so we didn't really get a big gap push today. So there's still bears hiding out in here. They kind of kept it suppressed here intraday, but we had some key levels that we were able to navigate even with the choppiness here in today's candle. Right, so today was the lowest range candle since the Corona crash, right? So this candle right here before the Corona crash was 14 and some change, and today was about 18 and some change, right? So the last lowest one was back here, was about 21, right? So pretty interesting stuff. It was also a pretty low volume day on the SPY, a little bit more. Not the lowest, but still pretty low. And so it was really just kind of a choppy day, except for a few key names. Once again, big ones like Apple and Microsoft kind of held the market up today, and just were kind of the main ones that we looked to trade today that gave some pushes. But there's a few other ones that gave some moves. Boeing gave a nice little push up, things like that. So some good ones there. If we take a look at the price action here intraday, you'll see exactly how choppy it was. So we gapped up, right? But they couldn't fade the gap today, right? So we had a big open gap yesterday and a closing gap about the same levels, and they tried at the open. Right, so this is kind of one of those good indications here that this gap is not getting faded. That first move, right, was not a gap fade. The second one right here, a big lower shadow here off of the 8 EMA, right, couldn't fade that gap, and then we pushed off of it. So this ended up being a nice buy the dip opportunity right here, which we pointed out to members today. Ended up giving a pretty decent move. I mean, I think like the 327 calls went from $1.40 to over $2, almost $3 on that move right there. So that was a nice move. But other than that, then we saw a lot of chop again, a little bit of push right here. We thought there's a little bit of a short going on right here, but again, it was really tight levels today, so just overall generally pretty bullish on the market overall, but we'll see how that goes going into tomorrow. Let's say these are the levels that we provide to our members before each market opens, so you can see how well these kind of came into play here today. Couldn't quite get to the prior monthly level, but it's okay. We just kind of hung out on the weekly levels right here. So again, just a couple nice little bounces off of it, and just really overall a pretty choppy day in the market. Let's take a look at the S&Ps here. And the S&P futures here, and see how they're looking this evening going into tomorrow. So again, a little bit more chop here, but that's okay, right? So we're these are a couple of this zones that we use today. So these signal zones have proven to be really helpful for the group, right? We kind of pre-market, right? We had this bull flag breakout. We talked about that this morning in the public Twitter and on the YouTube this morning, right? We got a nice bull flag breakout this morning. So they took a lot of meat off the bone for us here, causing that big gap up in the SPX, right? We came back down, we retested one of these key levels, these key zones right here, and then we had a quick reversal off of this zone up here, and then another reversal off of this one. I like the higher high, higher low, right, to kind of give us that movement up right here. So this ended up being a really nice move. A little bit of a pullback and then a push to the highs and then this chop. So we're still chopping around here tonight. So let's see how that goes going into tomorrow. A couple lines that we probably want to draw on here into tonight are from these lows here. Here. Okay, and then here. So that seems to be holding pretty nicely. Nice little lower shadow off of that one. And let's just kind of see how that looks right there. Yeah, so just a couple of lines like that. So we'll see how those go through this evening to see how these hold. And then, obviously right now we've got this going on too. So, kind of just a really tight range right here. But a nice bounce here. We were getting in the red for a little bit here this evening, but we couldn't hold there. So let's see how we hold through the rest of the night and what kind of setups we have in tomorrow. Maybe they'll give us a flat open with a nice move at the open too. So that would be kind of cool as well. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, good stuff. So let's take a look here, and today we're going to be continuing our conversation on day trading option flow, and today we're going to talk about dated flow. So we're going to talk about flow that kind of comes in woo. So we're going to see the flow that comes in that's a little bit further dated out, right? So not like the weeklies that come in where we're like, oh, hey, these people are really buying this thing up right now. Let's take a look. So a couple examples from today that we'll take a look at here. So we saw Zoom gave some interesting flow today. So let's take a look here. By the way, guys, if you're not in our private Discord, it comes with our group, and we've added a couple channels there. We're filtering in some interesting option flow and also some news. So we're kind of like we're turning into like a one-stop shop where we got a great group of traders where we're looking at trades all day, and then we get that flow coming in too, and we can talk about it, and some news coming in as well. So you don't have to be like looking all over Twitter and things like that for things that are interesting. We kind of have it all right there. So it's really cool stuff. We just started working on that today, which is great, and gave us some interesting information. So one of those was Zoom. Okay, so Zoom today ended up having some nice flow, right? So it actually is a pretty big push at the open too. But we saw some call sweeps in that one today. So if anybody doesn't know what a call sweep is or a put sweep, a sweep is where there's multiple purchases at multiple different exchanges, right? Arca exchange, Nasdaq exchange, things like that, on the option exchanges where big money may be trying to kind of hide to show that they're not buying like these big blocks of stuff. So they do it. They run these calls or these puts through different exchanges to try to hide it. But there's enough algorithms out there like that, tools out there that can help us find that. And so that's kind of a good deal, right? So on that, right? So it helps us show that hey, they're really looking at buying these things. So with Zoom today, we saw the calls. So it's about 2 o'clock today. We saw some September calls coming in, the September 18th, 21 calls. So let's take a look at those and see what those look like here, right? So if we go here, we go to Zoom. So we go to September 18th. So those are the monthly calls right here, and they were the 150, the 240 calls. Sorry, the 240 calls. So those were out here. So a little bit in the money at the time, right? So pretty expensive, right? But some good money, right? Kind of coming in there. They spent about about $677,000 on those for $43, right? That's pretty expensive, right? So for day traders, this is not stuff that we really look at, but it is interesting to see where big money is positioning and what they're kind of seeing. So around 2 o'clock today, they did that, right? So if we go to, the chart here. Let's see. So here, let's go. So around 2, they came in about 2 o'clock today, which is pretty interesting, right? Because we already had a big move. So when we look at that, we kind of try to think of what they're thinking, right? Obviously, it could be hedging and all that stuff, but we want to kind of get a clue, right? Now, today, Zoom gave a great move at the open. We were busy focusing on Microsoft and Apple, but it's nice to see that Zoom had some strength. So when we see these dated calls come through, right, one of the things that we like to look at is, what's setting up on these charts, right? And so this is kind of a big deal today. So we broke out of this triangle here today with an inside day up. We gapped above it. We had a nice push. Now, we're kind of running into, some prior drop areas right here off of this inside day to the downside, right? So we found some upper shadows of this, but this is kind of one of those things where you look at, be like, okay, these guys, somebody's betting over, $500,000, through different exchanges on these calls. So they're looking for some bullish movement in this one. So when we see these dated calls, they're not necessarily actionable intraday, but that does show that somebody out there has got some really bullish sentiment on these candles, right? So here we don't want to buy right here, right? Because if you bought right here, right, you end up buying at the highs at 2 o'clock. So this flow came at 2 o'clock, right? They're down in their position right now, right? So we don't want to be with them in that, right? But we do want to know that context is good. So how do we handle these? Honestly, the best way to do it is to put them on a note, right? Put some alerts out there. Like one thing you can do is just create an alert and put it on your chart right here to be like, hey, if we start breaking out these highs, we get some more momentum to the upside. But somebody's really thinking this thing's probably going to start to work its way up by September to maybe test the all-time highs, right? So maybe at the end of August we have earnings. So maybe they're kind of basically betting on an earnings run on this one, and that this candle holds. So this is what we talked about last night, right? So let's look and kind of keep a monitor of this candle, see if Zoom gives a pullback, and see if that might be viable to kind of ride along with them. Not necessarily at $43 or even $30, but maybe something that makes a little more sense on the day trade side, right? So another one too that came in today as well was SE. I guess it makes sense, right? Because SE has been forever bullish, right? So SE came in today. We had a big call sweep on this one, $142,000, not as big as Zoom, and they were liking at about 130. They were liking the 145 calls, right? So if we take a look at those, let's take a look here. So the 145 call. I'm sorry, and these were the September 4ths. So they weren't going as far out right here, but they were thinking these, right, and they were looking at the 145 calls. So these are actually a little bit out of the money right here, but you can see that open interest here today. So one of the things we want to look at tomorrow is see if they banked on those, right? So we'll look and see what the volume is. That's the volume. We'll see what the open interest is tomorrow, right? So tomorrow, if there's 36.89 open interest, right, then we'll be like, okay, they're definitely sitting in this position waiting for this thing to continue to go, right? So now they got in on these at a pretty good price, right? So they got in these at the okay, right. So they got these about $5.80, so about midway through this range right here. So let's take a look and see how that looks off of the candle here today. Right, so you can see here, right, so SE, we've been tracking this one for a while in the group, right, but we can see here that it had a very bullish day. Again, it broke out of this bull flag right here, but these guys are basically, depending on the open interest, they stay in this one. September 4th is kind of like, gives it a little bit of wiggle room after earnings to try to get an earnings run on this one too, right? So let's continue to watch this one as well. We had good volume on this one. It got to all-time highs. If you go to about 130 where they started to get in on this thing, it was like right here. Right, so you got a little bit of a move up on that, right, and then it kind of pulled back basically to the entry, right? So we'll see if they continue to hold that by looking at that open interest going into tomorrow. But if they're still in it, right, we kind of want to just kind of keep an eye on it and see if this is something that looks like it's going to set up for an earnings run, right? So a day like today is good. A potential momentum breakout over today's highs could give another push to the upside. And again, we're going to kind of keep this noted as we go into earnings. So that's kind of the important thing when we look at flow that's a little bit further dated out. We want to try to figure out what they're thinking, right, to see if it makes sense, right? We're going to assume automatically that they're not hedging, right, and just see if there's a possible setup for us to try to jump in on that and maybe at least follow that game plan. That's kind of the idea with it, right? So again, obviously trade your own plan, but here the purpose of this discussion has been to discuss how to evaluate this flow and how to look at it. So hopefully you guys find that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window. And we'll try to get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. All right, so let's take a look here. So we've got, so Shirley is not able to make it here. We're praying for her. Hope she's doing well and is having a great night and enjoying, if she's able to tune in and check this out, still see if everything's going well. So we always appreciate all her levels that she provides, or all her stocks that she likes to look at. So we'll continue to keep her in our thoughts and prayers. So we have a few that came in here. So we got a few coming in right now. So ZEK, what's going on? Good evening. Hope you're doing well. So Nicola, again, guys, today was a big deal in all these electric vehicle names, right? So again, Nicola held these lows right here quite well, and then gave you a nice doji day, and then a quick pop today on Nicola, right? So it gave a good move here, real tight triple inside 15 at the open, and then break out of the 15 over high, and held the 80 MA all day. So this was a big one, right? To look at, to see if we get a move right here. We've got earnings tomorrow after the close on Nicola, so we're going to see if that gets any follow to the upside on that one. And then just a real quick look here before we look at the other one. Yeah, JMIA was pretty hot today as well. But just to show you, a lot of these electric vehicle names were strong today. Like Workhorse finally gave a strong breakout day today with some volume. So again, that has earnings coming up too, right? So NIO was pretty strong. That had some call flow on it as well. So a lot of these electric vehicle names just had some good movement today. Even Tesla, it gave you an inside day, but it kind of got things going today for the whole electric vehicle movers, right? So it gave a nice pop at the open, another pop right here, just kind of to show some relative strength. It's not a huge candle, like a Tesla, like a big Tesla candle right there. In fact, there's not too many, but I like the fact that the whole electric vehicle market was strong today. So continue to monitor those and see how those go going in tomorrow. JMIA, this is definitely on the radar today. Huge move. Again, just this is on the coattails of Amazon. Now Amazon pulled back today, but JMIA held its 80 MA all day today, and a strong candle today on that one. Look for some potential follow through the upside. It's already up about $1 after hours on that one as well. So that's definitely one to keep on the radar too. In fact, let's put that on the radar. And let's see. So for Tuesday, so bullish. We'll continue to keep an eye on JMIA. And if anyone doesn't know what JMIA is, that's the Amazon of Africa, basically. So something to keep an eye on there. So they definitely got a nice move off of those Amazon earnings, and just a lot of strength on that one today. So we'll keep an eye on those, and again, keep an eye on those electric vehicle ones too. I'm just gonna put NIO on the radar for tomorrow, because it's the of all those other crazy ones, Nikola and Workhorse and Tesla, it's the more reasonable one to trade, right? So we'll keep that on the radar as well. So good. So awesome, great charts right there. Let's say what else. So Apple, of course. Now Apple's pretty interesting, right? Left with a big upper shadow here today. Kind of closed at the lows right there. So we'll see how that holds. Got ex-dividend coming up right here, but again, still bullish to proven otherwise. So we're going to continue to track that one, right? It gave us a great move at the open today. GGAL, again, nice, kind of engulfing candle today. So again, ADR on that one. See if it gets any follow through the upside on that one. INSG. Decent break on that one as well too. So earnings coming up there too, and then KTOS Kratos. So it's a nice lower shadow on that one as it heads into earnings coming up, I believe tomorrow, right? So it's got that at tomorrow after hours. So lots of earnings after hours tomorrow. Some of the smaller tech names on that one. Then INSG, we just looked at that one. So great stuff, CAK. Appreciate it. Mike, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so we got SPC that has earnings tonight, right? So let's see how that behaved here. I believe they had bad earnings and no revenue, because they don't really do anything. They're basically, in my opinion, just a marketing shell that eventually is going to produce spaceships, or probably sell out to maybe Tesla or something like that. So we'll see how that goes. But they had a miss on everything there. It pushed up a little bit today. It's kind of down a little bit after hours, but nothing really major yet. So we'll see how it holds, right? We're at $22 after hours, which is basically still at that prior inside day range. So we'll see how that holds, and maybe we'll get a bounce tomorrow. Maybe just anybody who's short might be like, this thing's not going down. They cover, and then we can, kind of do a little bottom feeding on that one. Uber, nice candle today, right in the 200 days. Just be careful with that one. It's heading up into earnings. And then Tesla, of course, ended up giving an inside day today, right? So it's holding this prior support zone right here, right? Not surprised to see a bounce off of this level, right, from yesterday. And I imagine a lot of folks got short, but it kind of held these zones right here, and we got a gap up on that. And we talked about on that on the video this morning that if we gapped above here, right, we might see a little squeeze on that one. So that's what we got. We got a little squeeze on that today. So good stuff there. Yeah, my pleasure. Kim, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. SQ loses the trend box. That's what I'm talking about. Fresh high, fresh trend line on Square, right? So that's actually still holding its macro trend line, but its bump line just got bumped over a little bit. So we still have that going on, but again, still bullish, still proven otherwise on Square. And FSLY, let's take a look. So FSLY, huge move today, right? Finally got its trend box too. So let's get rid of all this nonsense. Let's just create a fresh. We can get rid of all this stuff right here. So it did what we thought. It did a little ABC consolidation, and really just gave a quick impulsive move up on that one as it continues to work up. Again, we'll continue to monitor it, right? Monitor it, and see if it gives us any more follow through the upside. I would look to maybe see a retrace on it to see if that's viable, but it's hard to chase right here. But we'll definitely continue to keep this on the radar, right? So bullish until proven otherwise on this one for sure. I mean, you could kind of put a trend line anywhere at this point. So, but just holding all these levels right here. We'll just go ahead and put it here. We'll go 1 second there. We'll just put it right there. There, that's fine. Okay, so bullish, right? Till proven otherwise. So let's see if that continues to move. Okay, so nice day today. Great volume coming up into earnings. So we'll see what that earnings report has to say for FSLY. And then Run. Yes, a nice recovery today on that one. So big volume yesterday on Friday on that crazy doji candle, right? And it got some nice follow through to the upside today. So I like that one. And and then Loco. Don't you know me? Loco. Yeah, so Loco gave a 180 reversal on this one today, so that is not good. So keep an eye on that one, see if we can see a push to the downside on that, although it's got the ADMA right below it. So good stuff there, guys. Royal, what's going on? I hope you had a great day, too. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Yeah, so Microsoft was a great one for us today. It gave multiple entries. It actually also gave a fresh high, fresh trend line, fresh all-time highs on that. So let's shift our trend line back over on Microsoft and continues to be bullish, still proven otherwise on that. Amazon, a bit of a pullback here today, right? So it had kind of a nasty pullback after earnings. So we were expecting some downside follow-through off of that one. There's still a lower gap right here. It's actually down. The bid's down a little bit after hours. We'll see how that holds going in tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised to see if a gap fill right here from before earnings, and then we'll just see how it holds on the ADMA on that one. And then Melly, of course. Let's take a look. Yep, Melly, really nice right there. It's actually coming up to one of our fib fan lines from a while ago. So see how that holds. We got earnings coming up on this one as well. And then LVGO. Again, these ones guys that we've been looking at, the FSLY, the LVGOs, the SEs, these things have just been just forever bullish, and they're continuing to get some bullish upside movement, and we'll see if that continues to the upside there. And and then NVIDIA. Okay, yeah, and then NVIDIA. Yeah, so beautiful move on that one here. So a nice push to the upside here. Fresh high, fresh trend line, right, on NVIDIA, and a great breakout over those levels. This one was really, really strong intraday today. I love this consolidation right here. These inside 15s that kind of gave that burst to the upside and a nice move. Some members did really well on that one today as well. So good stuff. Alma, what's going on? Hey, yeah, my pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. AVGO, let's take a look. So AVGO, nice move here, right? So try to push above this triangle, this geometric level right here, but kind of left you with an upper shadow. It's kind of like blah on that one. Just real quick, just to kind of take a look at QCOM. That gave a nice push today too, but also kind of came off of that as well. DKS, yeah, Dick's Sporting Goods. So kind of getting a move right there. It looks like it's starting to curl, to kind of pivot down a little bit here. So see how that holds. It might come back and retest, and then we'll see if it tries to come back and push these levels. Amazing how this level here just keeps on getting played out as a level of price discovery on that. So really cool there. And then net. Okay, yeah, so net, fresh high, fresh trend line in this one, guys. There's so much on here. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of all these drawings. Goodness gracious. And let's see if we can get something on here to track. So we got these lows here from March. Nice move up right here. And there's your upper trend line on that one. So again, continuing to be bullish, still proven otherwise on that. And then TSCO. Yeah, so TSCO kind of back in this this channel range right here. Good volume today. Again, we're seeing a lot of moves on some stuff that's been generally strong today. So even though the market itself was choppy, there was a lot of stuff that's been perpetually bullish. Got a lot of nice follow through today. The stuff that's been just generally strong just showed a lot of relative strength today and really kind of held the S&P up instead of getting like that gap filled. So really nice stuff there. Good. J Moss, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a look at NVIDIA again. Again, fresh all-time highs on that one, so it's a good job on that. Still holding trend. Let's see if this is the beginning of an earnings run. Again, as long as the market stays strong and the semis stay strong, dips do appear to be viable on this one, right? QCOM, good. I was just mentioning that. A beautiful one at the open day. Doji sandwich up, right? Nice Doji day on Friday. Right, a good push up off of that today. Huge move at the open. Right, and then just kind of drifted down after here, but a really, really nice move at the open today. So just keep an eye on that upper shadow. Just be cautious with that one. And then YRCW. Yeah, decent candle today here after earnings. Nice hammer on that one. This is kind of like a low volume type one, penny stock. I would just be careful with it. And then Apple. Yeah, so Apple's really interesting, right? So I'm definitely going to be monitoring Apple here to see what kind of action we get off of it. A big upper shadow right here. If it breaks down below these lows, the market is weak tomorrow. We could look for a gap fill on this one, at least this one right here for potential. But other than that, we'll see if it continues to build strength. But again, I'm really, really looking forward to see how this stock split. When the stock split, it's splitting right here back in September, right? So that could be very, very interesting on that one. So we'll keep an eye on that one and see how that goes. But I'd love to see a cheaper Apple to trade. Would be so nice, and hopefully help our option premiums on that as well. That would be great. So good stuff. Thanks, J Moss. Really appreciate it. Rich, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. So Walmart still hanging in there. Bunch of lower shadows right here. The 80 MA is curling over pretty hard. Last time the 80 MA curled over a couple times that hard, right? We got some big moves down. So just kind of keep an eye. If we lose these tails right here, we might see a push down to the 50 in the cloud on that one. And then Baba. Yeah, so Baba, the K-Web, a lot of these Chinese names were strong today. Nice push off of that one. Ended up leaving with a lower shadow. It was all about the open day. A lot of these moves happened at the open day. It got down to the 618 and just couldn't get any more movement off of that, right? So something to keep an eye on there. Good stuff. SMDC4S, appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. President accounted for. That Cobb is in the house. Very nice. Rich, yeah, so what else? You got FSLI, looks like it doesn't want a wave 2 after all. Well, it will, right? We just have to wait for it, right? So it just it's still working on its wave 1, right, on whatever impulsive move this is, right? So, sub wave 1, right? I mean, this could be like wave 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be working on wave 5. It just hasn't given a real wave 5 pullback, a real pullback yet in this movie. Yeah, super duper strong. This one, we'll see how it behaves on earnings on that one. I mean, it gave us our wave 2 down here, right? So he gave us this, but it just never gave one off of this one, or whatever, this pullback right here. So yeah, I see what you're saying down here. We're just waiting on it, right? Definitely an impulsive move, so we'll see what it gives us. Keep in mind, a 618 retrace is possible. So if it has bad earnings, that 618, right, could happen right here, right, from these lows to here. Right, and that 618 kind of brings it right back to the upward trend line, right? And then we'll look for some consolidation and then a potential move to the upside on it. Again, FSOI, super duper strong. Paul, what's happening? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Paul's doing an awesome job too. He's in our Discord as well. He does a lot of Elliott Wave stuff in there, and so always loving that. So really appreciate your levels there. I know members are actually really enjoying that too. So good job there. Yeah, decent candle here today on JCOM. Nice move up there. I like how the ADMA is starting to curl up. Right, just low volume on that one, so just be careful there. But yeah, so definitely looking like a nice turning point right here on that. Anki, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so let's take a look at ZI. All right, I love it. So failed bear flag, right? So it's started to look like it was working its way down right here. Boom. Sorry, no, just kidding. Right, squeezed out anybody who's short through this bear flag range. Right now, let's see if we can get some follow through the upside on that one and see if the bulls can pick it up for an earnings run. And then Boeing, a huge reversal today, guys. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. We've been trying this one for a while. A couple things that are important, right? We've got these geometric levels below. Right, so we're holding that right here still, and then today it just was like, nope, I want to go up and retest these prior levels right here. Kind of go back and see, where we had a big consolidation day right here, so that was very, very, an attractive area for it to come back and test, right? So if it tries to work its way up here, we've got a closing gap up here as well. You can see we provide that to our members right here, and that could get tested too. And it also formed a 60 anchor today, so we'll see if that gets a breakout to the upside tomorrow morning if the market wants to be strong tomorrow, or at least if Boeing wants to be strong tomorrow, right? So CV. Right, so rough day on earnings last week, but these recoveries, guys, this one I did not I meant to look at this one today because oil gave a good recovery, but CBX after earnings, what a great hammer candle, guys. When these stocks get beat up after earnings, but they end up turning green on the candle after earnings, a lot of times you can see some follow through the next day on that, right? So that's just something to keep an eye on right there. That breakout above those highs right there was just a nice move and give a decent candle today on CVX. So good technical move on that. Now, do they get follow through the third day? Sometimes, but today was a really good day to day trade that one. JP Morgan gave a nice reversal at the open day, but kind of came back in. It's still basically really working on a channel down right now. I mean, it's not really even a flag. It's about the exact same size of the flagpole. So we'll keep an eye on here. It might actually be in the context of a bigger bear flag from this move down right here. So we'll just kind of see it. It's basically the bottom of this channel right here. So it's channeling down to the bottom of a channel, right? So it's just kind of a tricky area right here. Let's wait for some breakout candles with some volume on that one way or the other. And then Goldman Sachs, again, just really chopping around here, inside day hammer. So let's see if it kind of pushes its way up, get back out of the cloud. Otherwise, the moving averages are starting to kind of point down a little bit. So good stuff. Yeah, my pleasure. Thomas, what's going on? Square. I know you love this one. So nice push there. All-time highs. Good candle there today. Earnings coming up. So let's see if it continue to try to push in earnings right there. Just be careful holding through earnings. Anything could happen on that one. And then Drive Shack. Interesting right there. So just kind of sitting on the ADMA with some earnings coming up there as well. So good stuff. Thanks, Thomas. Oh, yeah, and DG. Yep. DG, yeah, so we have prior geometric line here that we broke out and then had 180 reversal. That came down a little bit. Now it's trying again to get over those lines. So let's see if that gets some more fall through the upside right here. I would have liked to have closed a little bit higher above that level right there, but left you with a little upper shadow. But see if we can push it up today's highs, give a little bit of move off of it. Johnny, what's going on? Good evening. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, let's take a look at Spot. Spotify, so just kind of hanging on to those levels still there. So the longer it stays there, right, without getting any volume kind of coming in, you just got to watch out on that one, right? In case the market does get weak and it wants to kind of pop its way down a little bit. And then Shop, strong move on Shop. They couldn't keep it down long, right? Basically at the ADMA here, after good earnings and kind of work its way up. I wouldn't be surprised to see Amazon do something like this eventually too if the market is supportive of it. So good stuff. Bagash, what's going on? Good to see you. T-Doc, let's take a look. Yes, T-Doc inside day, so, we'll see how it goes there. Low volume, so it might just be consolidating here, possibly working on maybe a short-term bull flag, so we'll see how that goes on that. And then Spotify we just looked at right there, just kind of hanging out there a little bit. So it is low volume pullback, so let's just, but if some volume comes into the downside, watch out, you got that 50-day moving average below. Shop again, beautiful move right there. And then CRM major day, woo, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so software was good, guys. This moved in tandem with Microsoft today, right? So just nice move at the open. Not as nice a move at the open as Microsoft, but this one just held steady for the majority of the day. So great job on that one, holding the ADMA for a nice trending day and a strong candle. Unfortunately, it left an upper shadow today, but it did close above the prior highs, so I like that as well. So good stuff. And then QCOM again, big upper shadow on that one. Makes it a little bit tough to chase on that one, so we'll just kind of keep an eye on those levels tomorrow. But it definitely gave a nice push at the open today. And then Regeneron. Yep, just kind of hanging in there. Nice candle today. Low volume, earnings coming up. Not one I typically mess with, but definitely a decent candle today. there from those. I know a lot of folks like playing the out of the monies on that one, so I'm just not a fan. But yeah, Neo again. Thierry, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, so Neo, I like this one. That is the electric vehicle companies were strong yesterday, so we'll keep an eye on Neo tomorrow. See if it gets another push to the upside, and in which way it might try to work its way going on that. So again, we'll see if it gets some more follow through. We're seeing some strength in the electric vehicle names. We'll see if it gets tries to work its way up here for a little bit of an earnings run on Neo, which is crazy to think that it was $2, right? And it's already back up to it's already up to 14, which is crazy. They had some good numbers on this one today too. Apparently they had more vehicles sold than they expected, but I mean they only sold like a couple thousand, right? So if they're even real. So, but anyway, good stuff on that one. Tracy, what's going on? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so Sedge. So Sedge had a quite an earnings report there after hours, so a big move right there. So it's up to 195, hit a high at 201, right? So that's a potential gap and go on this one, but as you guys know, what do we got to get over? We got to get over this 201 level tomorrow, so that's gonna be a tricky one for it, right? So we'll see how that holds in this range tomorrow and what we get going on to the upside on that one. But yeah, big moves on those today, good. And then Beyond. So Beyond, I think, had some good news today as well. Finally gave us a breakout candle. We had an inside day yesterday, and it did this right before earnings. What are they? They had Sam's Club, BJ's Wholesale, things like that. So a nice move on Beyond today. Intraday, it just held the 80 MA all day today, right? So nasty open, but then once it just kind of held the 15 orb low today, it got over the 15 orb high and just held that 80 MA up and gave a nice little move after hours as well. So let's see how that holds going into tomorrow. So good stuff there. And what else? So Baggage. So ATVI. Yeah, so ATVI, nice push on this one today. Again, great move to the upside. Looking pretty strong there. Also had some good call activity on this one as well. EA. Spinning top today, not as nice as ATVI. But sometimes they do move. Yeah, and then you had Take Two. This one got halted or something like that after hours. I think the volatility got so high, it got crazy. But yeah, up nicely after hours right here on this one. So up to 176-ish. So I think that's definitely one to keep an eye on for tomorrow on the 15 orb radar. See if we can get a gap and go type setup on this one. So we'll keep an eye on that one for sure. Very, very nice stuff. And then Tracy, yeah, Bank of America. So Bank of America spinning top here today, double inside day up, and kind of just pulled back a little bit off there, right off of the top of the cloud today. Again, this level as well. So I want to see if we kind of push above there and give it a little bit of a move. But right now it's just kind of chopping around. But good. So Kira, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. So CRWD. This is a nice one too. Gave a nice intraday move, so turned into a hammer on this one as well. A couple nice pops here intraday from the lows and got really, really tight here, and then a bounce here with some volume. That was about it. But it's still okay. I like the hammer there. See if that gets any follow through the upside. Otherwise, watch out for the hanging man, right? ATVI again, nice move here as well. Oh, this is up too. I thought we had earnings. Or is it just up in sympathy? Yeah, so just up in sympathy there with the Take Two. So definitely, and then the EA I imagine is too. Baggage that you mentioned earlier. So yeah, so keep an eye on these gaming stocks and see how they behave on that on those. So again, Take Two is very, very interesting with the gap and go potential if we can get and stay above the after hours and pre-market levels. And then Boeing with a huge reversal today too. So see how long that holds. I like how the volume really picked up today on this move, right? Just a beautiful, beautiful move today, right? Nice consolidation at the 15 orb low, and then boom, kapowie on Boeing. It can give some great intraday reversals like that. I love it. So good stuff there. Akash, what's going on? So hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at Roku. Yep, so Roku finally got out of the triangle, guys. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. It's like, yay, Roku. And then you look at the premium, you're like, finally an earnings run, I guess. But I like how it did decide to go to the upside on that one. So double inside day up, pause day, and then up today. So let's see if that can continue to work its way up into earnings. So Johnny, yeah, my pleasure. Good stuff. Well, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening and for everybody's support. We're going to wrap it up here so we can all get a good night's sleep. And thank you, everybody, for your questions and chart requests. It's a great discussion this week. I hope you guys are enjoying the option flow concept discussion. And we'll talk more about it tomorrow. So until then, guys, we'll see you guys bright and early with the morning update video on YouTube. So if you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube and notification so we can take a look at those. So you can take a look at those when they come out. Real quick, so Tracy, LNNW, let's take a look there. Yeah, Limelight, okay, nice one there. Nice little bounce off of the 50-day moving average. Some volume got back over the 80 MA on that one. And then Piton. Yeah, Piton, guys, was on our bullish radar this morning, too. We send a note to our members each morning to get prepped for the day. And, of course, we go live for the open. This is one of the ones that we were bullish on going into today as well. So nice move on that, too. So great stuff, guys. Really appreciate it, everybody. I don't know who clicked the dislike button, but anyway, good stuff. Really appreciate it, everybody. I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening, and we'll catch you guys in the morning. And oh yeah, be sure to hit the like button. We always appreciate that. And we'll catch you guys then. Thanks again, guys. Stay healthy out there, and remember your wrist first, and stay safe so you can stay in the game.